Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Tammy. Today I am setting in my yard. It's actually what we call the fairy circle. In my front yard I have this circle of hedges that go, and you can actually drive around on the outside of it, and on the inside is one of my favorite places to sit. It's got to have beautiful flowers planted, and I like to just come out here and read stories. And so I thought this was the perfect place to share a story with you today. Now, when we last left off of the story, we were talking about Adam and Eve and their first sin, and how they had to leave the Garden of Eden and go find a new home, but that God still loved them and He had a plan for them. Well, this is talking about the story that we're going to read today. It's one that you already know. This has a different title, but it's the same story. It's the story of Noah's Ark. This title is called A New Beginning. Time passed, and many people filled the earth. Everyone everywhere had forgotten about God and were only doing bad things all the time. God's heart was filled with pain when He saw what had happened to the world He loved. Everywhere was disease and death and destruction, all the things that God hates the most. Now, Noah was God's friend, which was odd in those days because no one else talked to God. Noah listened to God. He talked to God. He just loved being with God, just like you do with your best friend. Noah, God said, things have gone wrong. People have filled my world with hate instead of love. They are destroying themselves and each other and my world. I must stop them. First, we'll build an ark. Do you know what an ark is? Do you know how to build an ark? Noah did not. Luckily, God knew how, and He was going to show Noah. Those are the steps for building an ark. Get my page here. A storm is coming, that's what God told Noah. But I will rescue you, I promise. I'll send the animals to you, ones that creep and crawl and slither and slime and gallop and hop and bound and climb. And don't forget to pack everyone's food. The storm was going to wash away all the hate and the sadness and everything that had gone wrong and make the world clean again. God had thought up a way to keep Noah safe, but Noah would have to trust God and do exactly what God told him to do. So Noah built an ark, just a very large boat. Noah's neighbors came out to watch and point and laugh because they didn't believe Noah about the boat or the storm or needing to be rescued. And Noah must have looked rather silly. His boat was in the desert. The desert was nowhere near the sea, and there wasn't even a cloud in the sky. Why would anyone need an umbrella, let alone a boat? But Noah didn't mind so much what other people thought. He minded what God thought. So he did just what God told him to do. When the ark was ready, God said, All aboard! And Noah's family and all the animals climbed inside. And then God shut the door. And it started raining for minutes that joined up into hours, that joined up into days, that joined up into weeks and weeks. And the rain joined up into puddles, that joined up into rivers, that joined up into lakes, that joined up into a flood that covered the whole world. Their boat that had once seemed so big suddenly seemed very small. But in the middle of the huge storm, in the crashing waves, and in all the thunder and lightning, through it all, God was with them. And God kept them safe for 40 long days and 40 long nights. Finally, the rain stopped. The sun came out, and Noah threw open all the windows. Hooray! Everyone shouted. Noah sent his dove out to explore, and it wasn't long before she brought him back a fresh olive leaf. Everyone knew exactly what that meant. She had found a tree and land. The water was going down, because when it flooded the world, boys and girls, the water was so high it even covered all the trees. But the dove, which is a bird, flew out and found a leaf. Which means the water's going down, down, down. Let's find out what happened next. At last, the boat landed quite suddenly on the top of a great mountain. As soon as it was safe, God said, "Out you come!" And so they did. Everyone skipping and dancing onto dry land. The first thing Noah did was to thank God for rescuing them, just as he had promised. And the first thing God did was make another promise. I won't ever destroy the world again. And like a warrior who puts away his bow and arrow at the end of a great battle, God said, "See, I have hung up my bow in the clouds." And there in the clouds, what kind of bow is that? Just where the storm meets the sun was a beautiful bow of lights. A rainbow. It was a new beginning in God's world. It wasn't long before everything went wrong again. But God wasn't surprised. He knew this would happen. That's why, before the beginning of time, he had another plan, a better plan. A plan not to destroy the world, but to rescue it. A plan to one day send his own son, the rescuer. God's strong anger against hate and sadness and death would come down once more, but not on his people or on his world. God's war bow was not pointing down at his people. It was pointing up into the heart of heaven. And that is the end of that story today, and I will come back next Thursday to read to you some more. I miss you very much, and I can't wait until all the world is healed of this coronavirus and we're able to come to church together and worship together and pray together and play together. I miss all of your wonderful hugs and just getting to fellowship with my sweet littles. I love you very much. See you soon.